Wir werden jetzt ein bisschen zusammen tanzen.
We'll dance together now a bit.
Das Tanzen, was jetzt fast eine Tradition von unserem Kongress
We'll dance what has become a tradition now at our Congress. It's the Gurdjieff moves or the Gurdjieff dances.
Ja, wieso machen
Why?
das?
Why do we do that?
Gurdjieff war ein spiritueller Lehrer,
Gurdjieff was a
Tänze
spiritual
mal
teacher
entworfen hat,
who
als Hilfsmittel
designed
für seine
these
Lehre.
dances
Und
as
kurz gesagt, das Ziel
aids,
seiner Lehre war
tools
die
for
Erleuchtung
the goal
oder die
of his teaching,
Unsterblichkeit. Und das heißt,
and his goal was
anders
enlightenment
gesagt, die Einheit
or
im Ganzen,
eternal life,
das
the
Einssein.
unity with all,
Und
being
wir
in
werden
unity
es
with all.
noch im Laufe der
And
nächsten
we'll
Tagen
do that
lernen,
also
dass
during the
wenn
next
man alle die
few
Tabus
days, that if
lösen
you
kann, die zwischen
can
uns sind.
dissolve all the taboos that are existent between us, that in the end there's nothing between us anymore, and then we could, in theory, be all one. And we want to practice with these dances together. We'll do a different strategy this year as from what we did last year or the one before last.
Einen anderen Tanz mit Ihnen üben,
Practice a
aber einen
different dance every
ganz einfachen.
day.
Also nur ein paar Bewegungen,
Just a few movements
ziemlich schnell hinkriegen werden,
we'll
damit dann
manage
wir schnell
pretty easily
von
and
der
quickly
Schwierigkeit dieser
so that we
Bewegungen zu
can
lernen, in dem
quickly
Einsein
move from the
dann
difficulty of
einfließen
learning these
können,
movements,
wenn
that we
es
can
uns
slowly
gelingt.
and quickly flow
Und,
into
wir machen es so,
being
dass ich
one
Ihnen
and in
zuerst
unity.
erklären, wie diese
So at first we'll do,
einfachen Bewegungen sind.
I'll explain
Und
those
dann
simple movements to you,
Lassen wir die
and
Musik
then
laufen und
we'll
wir tanzen
have the music
diesen
and
Tanz
we'll dance
bis zum Schluss. Und
this
ich sage
dance
euch
until
etwas
the
noch
end, and
dazu
I will
nachher,
add
bevor wir
a
mit
few
der
more
Musik
things in the
anfangen.
end before
Jetzt
we
sollten
start with the
Sie
music again.
irgendwo sitzen, wo ihr mindestens Platz
You
habt,
could sit somewhere where you have at least this much space to raise your
zu
arms
halten. Das ist die
like
breiteste
this.
Position.
It's the widest position.
Also im Sitzen, damit es bequem ist. Im
Sitting so that it's comfortable.
Beine kreuzen.
You could cross
Oder
your legs. Yeah,
Scheibenschneidersitz.
right.
Oder
Sit
wie es
sit
Ihnen
cross-legged
bequem ist.
or
Und
whatever
wir
is
fangen
comfortable
so
for
an,
you,
dass die
and
Hände
we'll
auf den
start
Knien
with the
sind
hands
und
on
der
our
Kopf
knees,
nach unten gesenkt.
and the head is bowed a
Die
bit down.
also es sind verschiedene Bewegungen.
And there are
Jede
different
Bewegung
movements, and every
halten, oder
movement
jede Position halten wir für
or
4
every
Takten.
position
Das
we'll
heißt, die erste
keep
Position
for 4
halten wir 4
beats.
Takten, so 1,
First position we
2,
hold 4
3,
beats, 1,
4.
2,
Dann kommt
3,
die
4,
zweite, der Kopf
and the
ist
second
vorne und
Die Arme
straight.
gekreuzt auf den Schultern, also die Hände. Das ist die zweite
cross
Position.
our hands on our shoulders, that's the second
das ist die
position.
dritte, also 90
This is the
Grad seitwärts,
third
wenn Sie es können.
position, 90
Dann
degree
gehen wir
upwards, and then we come back.
Jetzt gehen wir
Now we
mit,
go.
also Sie könnten es spiegelbildlich machen, das heißt mit links, das ist
You
einfach.
could do it mirror reverse if you do it
Wir
with your
öffnen
left arm.
einen, wir
You
öffnen
open one,
das
we
andere.
open the other,
Dann hoch und wir schauen auch nach
and
oben.
then we look
Und
upwards.
jetzt kehren wir zurück. Wir machen alle Positionen rückwärts. Das heißt,
We go back and we'll do all these movements again,
So,
like this,
so,
like that.
öffnen wieder,
We open again,
schließen wieder.
and we're
Wir
closing
gehen
again,
zurück
and
zu
we're
den Knien.
going back down to our knees.
Also wir haben eine Sequenz, die nach oben geht und dann kehren wir wieder zurück. Wir machen es
We have a
nochmals.
sequence going upwards. We'll do
zusammen,
it one more time
ohne
together
Also
without music.
erste Position ist
First
unten,
position, 1.
dann kreuzen wir,
Second, we
dann
cross
gehen
our
wir mit
arms.
beiden
We'll
Armen,
go up with both
dann kehren
arms.
wir zurück.
We come
Jetzt
back,
gehen wir mit einem
and then
Arm
we go up with one
nach dem
arm,
anderen
and then the other arm,
und dann nach oben.
and
Jetzt ist fertig
stretching
und wir können
up high,
kommen zurück.
and that's done, and we're coming back.
Schließen.
We're closing. We're closing. We're opening both. We're closing. And we're coming back to the knees.
So das sind die 7 Positionen, die wir haben.
So these are the 7 positions that we have, and once the music starts,
2x4
I think
Einführung.
it's 2 times 4
Am Anfang
introductions.
geht's noch darum, dass hier die
In the
7
beginning,
Positionen
it's also a
habt,
matter
im
still of having those 7
Positionen
positions
haben
in mind.
Kopf. Und dann mit der Zeit
And
können
then
Sie
after a
vergessen,
while you can
was
forget
Sie mit den Armen und dem
what
Kopf machen
you're doing
müssen,
with
weil
your
es
head
ist
or
dann
with your
drin.
arms. It's in
Und dann,
there.
wenn Sie es
And
können,
then,
können Sie auch
if
die
you
Augen
can,
schließen,
You
ohne
can
dass Sie
close
nicht
your
zuschauen
eyes
müssen.
without
Und
having
dann
to watch
können
me.
wir weiter üben,
And then
was schon
we can
Rahel gesagt
continue
hat und was Daniel für die
Practicing what
Pausen
Rahel
vorhat.
said and
Wir
what
können mal
Daniel
üben, in
suggested
die
for the
Wahrnehmung
break.
zu gehen.
We
Mal
could try to
üben,
get into perception
die
and
Menschen,
practice
die rechts und links und
to
so da
see
sind. Also
the
die
people
Energie
on
der
the
Menschen
right
zu
and on the
spüren
left
und
of
schauen,
us, to feel
ob
the
es
energy
etwas Verbotenes
and to
drin
see,
hat oder
is
ob
there anything
ob
forbidden
sie es wirklich können,
or can we really do it?
dass sie sich in die anderen oder sie
That-
sich mit den anderen verschmelzen.
That we can melt together with
Ein
the
paar
other
Minuten
ones.
ist es noch erlaubt, sich zu konzentrieren und die
So
anderen
for a few
nicht
minutes we can still
wahrzunehmen und dann
concentrate and
ab der
not
3. Minute
perceive the
so
others, but after about the third
einfließen
minute
mit den
we
anderen,
should start
verschmelzen
flowing with the
und
others,
schauen,
melting
was
together and
dabei geschieht
seeing
und
what
vor allem
will
dabei
happen there, and
lebendig
most of
bleiben.
all that we stay alive during this
Jetzt.
time. Now.
Und von vorne.
And we do it again.
Danke.
So, Oedipus, our sad hero, is on his way to Theban. At a very narrow gorge, a cart comes towards him, and there's a grey-headed old one with his servant, and the one driving the cart. "Hey, get away! Don't you see? There's only room for one carriage." But Oedipus keeps going. So the driver of the carriage, right over his foot, and the grey-headed old one hits him with a sharp-pointed stick on his head. "You'll regret this." Oedipus, who's very temperamental, jumps onto the cart and kills the driver. The old man, he pushes off the cart, falls with his head on a sharp stone, and is dead immediately. The servant can flee, and you can feel, maybe you know, who was the grey-headed old man. It was the father of Oedipus. Oedipus has no idea, and without any bad conscience, he dealt in personal defending himself, and he keeps going to Theban. The servant has already reached the city and tells the people about the death of their king. And people are sad and are suffering, because especially now they would have needed their king, because the Sphinx has sat down in front of the city with the back of a winged lion and the front of a virgin. And everyone who wants to enter the city, she puts a riddle, and if he can't solve it, she'll eat him with hair and head. And so far no one has been able to escape her. Jocaste, who's now with her brother Creon, ruling over the city, doesn't know what to do. "Brother Creon, what shall we do? The Sphinx, she will do away with all of us. She doesn't allow anyone into the city, and people are starving." "Yes, I know, sister. I have a plan. Let us make a prize. We'll set up a prize. Whoever can win over the Sphinx will have you as a wife and will become king of the very rich city of Theban." Oedipus hears about this and wants to win a double prize. When he comes to Theban, he goes to the Sphinx. She smiles at him enticingly, licks her lips, and puts her riddle forth. What goes in the morning of its life on 4 legs, then at noon on 2, and in the evening on 3 legs? Oedipus is puzzled. What? That's all? Don't you know any more riddles? That's much too easy. It's of course the human being. As a baby he crawls on 4 legs, on all 4, then as an adult with 2 legs, and in the evening of its life takes a stick as a 3rd leg. Utters a squeal and kills herself, full of embarrassment. Now Oedipus goes into Theban as a proud winner and receives the hand of Jocaste, and will soon crowned king. And Jocaste, you remember, it's Oedipus's mother. And thus even the second part of the oracles pronunciation has become true. But Oedipus and Jocasta are happy with each other. They fall in love and have 4 children. These 4 children that Jocasta always wanted to have from Jocasta. So the story could go on, but one day the pest puts its black hand over the city and people die just like flies. Oedipus loves his people. He sends his brother-in-law to ask the oracle of Delphi if there's anything they can do. And suddenly listen to the oracle's saying. The murderer of Laios is still living amongst you, and as long as the bad one is not punished, the people will suffer. So now Oedipus tries to find the murder of Laios, which he is himself. First, he asks his wife Jocasta, "Darling, tell me, do you remember what happened in those days when your husband Laios was killed? Oedipus, darling, since you have entered my life, I've forgotten all that was ever before, but I'll try to remember." So, Laios was on the way to Corinth, and there was, in a small gorge, a traveler came, and he killed the driver of the carriage and threw Laios from the cart, and he fell, unfortunately, he was dead right away. That's what the servant reported, who was able to flee. Oh. And Laios, what did he look like? Well, if I think about it, just like you. Yeah, also the face was very similar. Only he was grayed very early. There was a feeling in Oedipus, but he had so much to do with finding out who was the murderer, and he sent out messengers to bring the blind seer Tiresias to court. He came only reluctantly, and also he was very unwilling in his questioning. "King Oedipus, listen, you wouldn't be thankful for the truth. Leave it in peace. Tiresias, the people are dying in the streets. You have to speak. Or are you involved in the murder yourself? If you don't speak now, I will put you in prison, and that is forever." So addressed, Tiresias had to answer. "So, King Oedipus, you yourself are the murderer of Laios. Remember, and Laios was your father. And now you have married Jocasta, your own mother." Jocasta was there at the questioning, was laughing. "Now don't listen to this guy. We should cut out his tongue. All these curses and suspicions, and let us cut out his tongue." Now Tiresias had to keep talking. "Oh, you poor Jocasta, unfortunate. You should remember, in those days you had a child with Laios. You sent it away to have it killed, but the servant that you gave it to, he couldn't bring it over himself to kill it. And with many roots of fate, it came to Polybus and Moreus, their court, and they raised him as their own son. And this child is Oedipus." Jocasta couldn't defend herself of the truth that was now set in the room. Oedipus needed a bit longer, that it was really, to realize that it was really him, the murderer of Laios. Laios was his father, and Jocasta his mother, and his children were also his brethren. When he understood that, he pulled his sword and wanted to go after his mother to judge her for all she had done to him. And he found her in their bedroom. She had already hanged herself. So, and he pulled out her pin and blinded himself on both eyes. Oh, if I had never seen this, from now on I want to walk in blindness.